What's up, everybody? My name is Avery White.
And I'm Jonah Phillip.
And we're just going for it here.
Yeah.
We just...
First time?
First time. We are going to make a YouTube channel. Obviously, if you're listening to this, you already know that.
Well, Avery, it's been made. It's official.
Been made. Yes. We already made it. So we will be trying to upload about once a week. Just kind of going over random stuff.
Life updates.
Life updates, Bible stuff. Huge Bible guys.
Big Bible guys.
Big Bible.
Huge lover of the word.
Right. The word. God's word. Not up for discussion. That's God's word. Breathed by our Father.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so this is going to be super goofy. So if you're not ready for that, then click away. Actually, just kidding. Don't click away and keep listening.
Go watch something goofier and then come back.
Right.
You'll be ready.
Right.
Yeah.
But so this first video is just going to be a little bit of Jonah and I just kind of explaining or talking about, giving a little bit of background on ourselves, and then we'll kind of see where the conversation goes. Yeah. But yeah, so I guess I'll start. So
Avery White.
Yeah, like I said, my name is Avery. I'm a senior. We'll be graduating in a month from Waynesburg University. Business management major. Started off as sports management because I wanted to run a paintball company.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that was...
What made you want to run a paintball company?
So, so I've been playing paintball since I was like 12 or 13. Okay. And yeah, I don't know. I just loved it. When I moved here to Pennsylvania, I actually worked for a paintball company, and I was like refereeing. And it was a small company, so if there was like an odd number, I would play. So that was a lot of fun.
When you were reffing, did you ever like have kids target you because they were mad at you?
No, I was the cool ref.
Okay.
So I always liked to make people happy, but got the job done. I had a lot of people who would come back and stuff, just like to see me and hang out. I did really well as a paintball ref.
Cool dance.
Yeah.
Did you ever, as a ref, take advantage of your power and shoot kids when they weren't looking? One of those kids is listening right now. Waiting for this moment.
I don't think I ever... Not anybody that I didn't know.
Yeah.
Let me just put that.
Okay, that works. That makes sense.
Yeah, so I just loved paintball, and the people that I worked for was a family. Mm-hmm. I also worked for their campground, doing like security and like office stuff for them. So I just loved like the atmosphere of paintball, and I was like, oh, like if these guys can do it, I can do it. So
right, yeah.
So that was my original intention, and then once I came in as sports management, I realized like unless you want to be an athletic director or work for a professional sports team, you really don't have a career path set before you. So I switched to business management. It was a little bit broader. And so, yeah, I'll be graduating in a month. Be staying to do my master's in business administration. Be a MBA. Yeah, master's in business administration with a right
letters.
With a my concentration will be applied business, so
nice.
It's the most general one. But yeah, moved around a lot. Was born in Ohio, Zanesville. Shout out.
OH.
IO.
Nice in there.
Right. Go Bucks, that's for sure.
Yes.
Let's go.
Every day. If you aren't a fan of the Buckeyes when joining this podcast, I promise you by the end, you will be changed for the better.
Right. That should be one of our topics. Why
the Buckeyes are better.
Right.
Than every single
school
one.
Up north, right?
Oh. The school up north,
right.
And
just everything else.
I mean, specifically
Penn State. Right.
You
know what's funny? Actually, let's talk about this for a second. So I described it to Brianna the other day.
Yeah.
Who's
Brianna?
Brianna's my girlfriend.
Oh, nice. That's great.
Yeah. Sophomore nursing major here. Shout out Woo. She's beautiful and she's super, super sweet. And yeah, she gets bonus points for putting up with me. So.
They're totally gonna date someday.
But it's funny because I never realized that Ohio State Penn State was even a rivalry until we moved into this area.
Right.
It was always, Ohio State and the other school.
Uh-huh.
But I described it like, it's not as much of a rivalry because like Ohio State always wins.
Exactly.
And I described it to her. It's like when you're in like youth group and you have that like one kid that's always like challenging you and they like think you have a rivalry but like you destroy him every single time. It's like that is what I like related it to.
But yes, I absolutely agree. But I would argue that for the past 10 years, that's how Ohio State and the school up north has been.
That's true too.
It's
especially
weird.
This past year.
Yes, it's weird how it goes in cycles. Because for a long time, Michigan was.
Yikes!
That school up north was a threat. Breaking that fourth wall. Hey.
Right.
But yeah, no, the whole Penn State rivalry. It didn't really start until. To me, it didn't become relevant until 3 or 4 years ago because Penn State had a good year because they had Barkley.
Right.
And now we start to kind of see, now that he's gone, last year it wasn't a whole lot, and now it's
Right.
So it's the world is returning back to the order it's supposed to be.
Right.
There was a couple of nice years of revolution, but now we're getting back to where the world is best, where its greatest.
Yeah.
Alabama and Ohio State on top.
Right. Oh, man. But, yeah, so born in Ohio, moved to Florida for 5 years, and then we were in the state of Indiana for 8 years. Then we were in the state of California for 3 years. Now I've been here in Pennsylvania for about, I think we're coming up on year 6.
Dude, how was Cali?
It was good.
Yeah.
So it's funny because people ask what's your favorite state that you've lived in, and I'm like, well, they all have good and bad things. I think that's something that one of the biggest things I've taken away from moving is just there's pros and cons no matter where you are.
Right.
Cali was nice. We were up in real mountains, not Pennsylvania mountains.
Yeah.
Our house was at 3,800 feet, and within 45 minutes we could be at 10,000 feet.
Holy crap!
Yeah. So
when people geek out for Cooper's Rock,
I know
they go this is Everest,
right?
And I'm gonna climb it.
Yeah. That's really funny to me. I'll never get over that.
Yeah.
Freaking Western Pennsylvanians thinking these are mountains. But anyways, we were up in the mountains. So we got a ton of snow. It snowed at 37 degrees up there, which is nuts. And it was wet, heavy snow. We lost power all the time. But the people were cool. The area that we were in wasn't necessarily the best. We were lucky to be in a pocket of California that was Republican, so we were lucky there. But yeah, it was just interesting. I wasn't super crazy about it. Like I said, the weather was nice. It didn't really get below 20 degrees very often, and in the summertime, because we were up high, didn't really get above 90 too much where we were at.
Okay.
So it was pretty comfortable weather most of the time. But it was so beautiful. We were an hour and a half away from Yosemite National Park.
Nice.
So we were there all the time, and we were about, I think, 2 or 3 hours maybe from Lake Tahoe and from San Francisco, Sacramento, Oakland. So we were in those areas quite a bit, and it was just it's so beautiful. Definitely Pennsylvania is beautiful, and we used to visit Tennessee a lot. The Smokies are beautiful. It's just similar, but such a different aspect of God's creation. And it was beautiful. So Cali was good. Definitely appreciative of the time that we spent out there, but probably wouldn't go back to live there. I want to visit sometime, but probably wouldn't live there. But
I feel most people who I've talked to who lived in Cali, who I've met here, almost all of them, unsurprisingly, when I ask them okay, so why are you in PA, maybe for college or something, and they live in Cali, and they're I love PA, and I'm just so honestly, what's better? And they're always give me a very obviously fibbing answer where they're they're both. This one kid though, for the first time ever, I asked someone about because he was from Cali and he's going to school in Pennsylvania, and I finally got the answer that I always expected.
Yeah.
And I was just Cali or Pennsylvania, and he was oh my gosh, Cali's 1,000 times better. And I was this is what I've always expected people to say, but no one's ever said, and it's very interesting.
It depends on a lot on your area too.
I get LA. He was in LA, so it's bustling.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I heard somebody there's a student here that I worked with over winter break.
Yeah.
She's from LA. She hates it.
Okay, she doesn't like it.
Yeah, no.
What part of LA?
I don't remember exactly, but I asked her the same thing, and she was like, I actually like really like it here. It's a nice change of pace, and like she like hates the busyness. So
she doesn't think here's busy.
No.
That's what's wild to me is like people don't think like here's busy, but we're still. I guess I am in the city 24/7.
Right.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think about like because I've talked to even like people who lived in Europe, and it's like they are so. They still get like a good amount done, but there's just not a pressure as much in most of the parts of Europe, not all of them, but the pressure that like we face in any city here in like America where it's like you have a to-do list that you will never accomplish in a day.
Right.
And so all of that goes on to the next day when you get a new to-do list. And it's like, ooh, dude, that's a topic for an episode, just the idea of like feeling pressured to stay in busyness and
yeah, other cultures don't have that. A lot of Hispanic cultures like will take siestas in the middle of the day and like do, like work later in the night, but then like take that break in the middle of the day. It's just like not. American culture is very different.
We would beg for siestas at school,
right?
Like as a joke, kind of when we were younger, and we'd be like, "We deserve a siesta," and the teacher was always like, "No," and like it's no wonder we don't want siestas now. We've been being told no for years.
Right. Yeah, that's funny, but. Yeah, so that's a little bit about me. I mean, grew up playing basketball. Played basketball here at Waynesburg as a freshman, and then had a pretty nasty injury, and played tennis last year as a junior, and then this year I played club volleyball. So I like to stay busy, but apparently not in the same sport for 2 years.
Yeah.
But yeah, I played a lot of different sports growing up, but.
That's where like so you helped out a lot at camps.
Yeah.
So I would assume that at a typical camp you play many sports.
Yeah. So I've always like even when I was younger and I quit playing sports for like school, like I played baseball when I was in 1st and 2nd grade, and then 3rd grade is when I started basketball. And 4th grade was the only year I ever played football. I actually played lineman when I was chubby 4th grader. But then I played soccer in 3rd grade too, I think. And that was pretty much it for my like sports career. So I played like AAU volleyball in like high school just as kind of like a joke.
Right.
Just because I was like athletic and I could play.
Yeah.
But yeah, like growing up, I always like continued to play other sports, and I actually like looking back, I like kick myself for like not continuing to play sports. Okay. And that's something I tell people when people are like considering quitting. I'm like, well, like if you enjoy it, like keep playing, but if you don't enjoy it, like don't. But there's people that like, and I actually did a report on this. Our culture has become so one sport minded. It's where like you have to like play one sport and be focused on that sport to get scholarships. And I actually have had several coaches tell me that they like multi-sport athletes because they're more athletic and they're better, like well-rounded. So it's a little bit of give and take. I mean, if you're like LeBron James, obviously like you don't want to be playing like football and soccer and some of that stuff to like get hurt, but like if you're just Joe Schmo who's like trying to get an athletic scholarship, it's probably better for you to like play multiple sports and to like continue doing that through high school. So that's something I kind of regret. I mean, part of that too was
personal conversation going on, or
yeah, kind of.
Okay, fair enough.
Sorry about that. You're good.
Special guest appearance.
Right, Jordan. Jordan Worthy.
Jordan Worthy. He was worthy to enter this conversation.
Right.
And he is now gone.
Right.
Bye, Jordan.
Shoot, I forget where I was at.
You're talking about multi-sport.
Yeah. So I like quit playing sports when I was younger. All other sports to like focus on basketball, and like I didn't. Part of that too is like I didn't really get athletic until I was like 8th grade, freshman year of high school. So like, at that point, I felt in my mind like it was too late to start a new sport.
Right. Okay.
So.
There's a lot of social aspect that goes into that too, because sometimes you have the clique that's already formed in a certain sport, and it's like, how am I going to bust into that?
Or it's like all these kids that are like playing have been playing since they were 5 or 6 years old.
Yeah.
Like how am I supposed to jump in and compete with that? But yeah, I don't know. I've enjoyed it. I've been like super blessed with a lot of like God-given ability, and just like I never played for the same coach 2 years in a row.
Oh, wow.
Never had the same basketball coach twice. I never played with the same group of guys for more than 2 years. So I had a very like unique basketball experience growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was just like super interesting. I definitely like shouldn't have been like on a college roster. Like, just though, like if you look at like my stuff, but I was very blessed to like have that experience and to get that for a year.
Right.
But I'm also I've been very, very blessed after quitting as well.
Right.
Like, it's just been like a whole new world. Shout out Aladdin. Just like it's cool.
We'll
like
be performing it afterwards, by the way. There will be a 10-minute elongated version of the Aladdin song.
Right. Jonah's a professional singer, so he's gonna take that one.
I am. I sang at the Sydney Opera House.
In Australia.
Yeah, I was in the audience and I sang. I was singing some of the songs along with the people.
That's funny.
But
yeah.
you're talking about like multi-sport athletes, and like it's so true, like that they do force. Well, they pressure kids into choosing one.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, that's why like the whole story about like Kyler Murray is absolutely crazy. Because the kid not only in college can play. And I say kid, even though I think he's older than me. But, like, in college, he can literally play, like, baseball and football. Give it, like, his full all. And not only that, but then he gets drafted in the first round of the MLB draft, right? And there's, like, 1,000 rounds of that. So that's pretty impressive to be first, right? Because there's so many kids who want to play baseball professionally.
Right.
And then you have the idea now that he's going number 1 overall to the Cardinals.
Right.
They said that like they were taking him.
Right.
So literally this guy is not only did he win the Heisman, but he got drafted in the first round of 2 major sports. One guy.
Right.
And
it's nuts.
It's crazy.
Right.
I don't know, man. I would have taken baseball simply because I think
more money.
way more money in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
Less physicality.
Right. I was gonna say less
longer
rights,
career.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, like, it's just more laid back,
right?
You know, and it's like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that decision for him goes.
Is he gonna be playing both?
I don't think so.
I heard there was talk that he might.
Really?
Maybe.
Because I think that's how you really shorten your career.
Right. That's
by
how
playing 2 sports. Because one of those sports, 162 games. If you make the playoffs, you're roughly you could be looking at like 180 something games.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Professional football just takes such a wear and tear on your body. It's ridiculous.
Well, what was it? Is it the AAF just disbanded? They lasted for approximately 3 months. But what's funny is what it turned into is literally like, so the players who were playing in the AAF, the company just like went bankrupt or whatever. Essentially, they're just gone. And now the players who were playing in there and who stood out, like the Steelers just signed 2 players from the AAF. And like a bunch of other teams are doing it too. Yeah. So they're like in their late 20s. So it was like almost a spring training of sorts where these people were able to put their skills on display.
Right.
And now they're actually getting on teams, which is like super groovy.
Right. That's super sweet.
Yeah. Good for them.
Right. Good for you.
Thanks, AAF.
If you're listening to this and you played in the AAF, first of all, what are you doing with your life? Second of all, good on you. Man.
Talking to you, Johnny Manziel.
Right.
Great decision to go to AAF.
So anyways, enough about me, Jonah. What does your life look like? What are you doing? Where do you reside? Go to school? What is Jonah?
Wow.
I didn't do that. I caught myself though.
Not the first.
Yeah, I'm gonna be living with him.
Okay. You gotta remember his name.
Right, I have to remember his name.
Alright. What's poppin'? Where am I poppin'? So I live in the city of Pittsburgh. I go to a university known as Duquesne or Duquesne, Duquesne. We go by a lot of stupid pronunciations that don't understand French. So yeah, I go there. I'm studying education. I want to teach little tots or big tots. I don't care.
Potatoes.
Whatever the size of the tots.
Mott's tots.
I'll teach them. They're gonna be 8-foot tall tots. Napoleon, give me your tots reference. Insert here. So as we continue to go on in my life, I guess, I don't know, I see a lot of similarities in the way that I feel like you and I have had like constant change in our life. And a lot of it was, okay, so most of my change was not my choice as a child.
Right.
It was forced upon me. We moved a bunch,
Right.
Essentially from, like, grew up in Ohio, which is OH, and moved to Pennsylvania eventually. But even, like, in Pennsylvania, we've lived in relatively the same area, but continually switched. And so, I guess house-wise, I've lived in the same house for 12 years, which is ridiculous. Like, it's crazy, just because, like, my family's history.
Right.
But I've went to, in that span, probably 5 or 6 schools.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've just had this constant urge to move and switch.
Right.
Like, I used to go to school with my buddy Avery here, but I graduated in a year, and it's taken him like 4, which is pretty embarrassing.
They just keep asking me to come back every year.
They just keep asking you to come back. They're like, we really like your intelligence.
Right.
And
that's not what they say.
And
they just like my face.
Who doesn't?
Right.
We will be. We'll be putting a picture of Avery's face connected to this video, and if you'd like, you can print it out. And
Jonah's face will be on there too. Don't worry.
In a very small print. So yeah, but as I've kind of grown older, I've like loved. So as I was saying, I used to go to Waynesburg, where Avery goes, and I loved everything about it. But like I, for some reason, felt called to move on. And I think what's happened is, as a child, I loved. Well, okay, I didn't love. I was so used to the concept of moving and being switched to different areas that it has literally impacted every single way that like I view life now. So I just continually am on this moving spectrum, and I literally had to stop myself this year. So for most people, taking like a leap of faith and jumping into something that makes them uncomfortable is like going to Europe, or it's like trying out for the men's softball team when you're 60 and you're like, what's next? For me, the leap of faith is not moving.
Right.
Like, my biggest leap of faith is staying exactly where I am.
Right.
And it's uncomfortable. But, yeah, so I was going to actually be moving to Kansas City for like a year. And it would have been my 4th change in the last 4 years.
Is that one thing, internship you were looking at?
It was, yeah. And then I decided that I can't keep moving, and eventually I need to actually invest fully in a community.
Right.
I invest quickly, but I don't invest fully.
Right. No, I get that.
You know?
Yeah.
So I was like, boom, time to get uncomfortable and not leave.
Right.
So I'm going to be where I just said for a while, which is absolutely crazy, because that is not who I usually am.
That's funny, because I've been thinking about the same thing, you know, as I said, graduating here in a month. I will be having a apartment in town here in Waynesburg, and doing my grad school here, and got a GA position on our Center for Service Leadership.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, this staying in Pennsylvania for this amount of time will be the longest that we've ever been in a state since I've been born. And being in Waynesburg will be the longest I've ever been in the same town for that extended period of time. So it's just like super interesting. Like I'm not really sure, like the reason we've moved so much is because my parents have been involved in different ministries, and like my parents have just like displayed fully like trusting in the Lord's plan and like following where he's leading them. And like for me, I'm not sure exactly how that looks yet, because like I feel that when you say like you just get so into the rhythm of like moving, because like in my first couple of years like in college, I was like thinking about transferring. I was thinking about you know, after school, like where do I want to move? Staying in Pennsylvania, let alone in Waynesburg, was out of the question for 3 years of my college life. And it was just this past year when I stayed here and worked on admissions over the summer, I was like, I kind of like it here. but yeah, it's just super interesting. Like some people like live that lifestyle and continue to live that lifestyle. And, like other people, like the Lord calls them to like, not like push against it, but to push against it in a sense.
Yeah.
Of like, you know, maybe this isn't exactly what He's called me to. But yeah, I'm excited to see like for both of us, you know, how investing. Because I agree too. Like I learned like moving. I learned to invest quickly. But invest only enough to like get by and not invest fully. So, yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And I think it's interesting how like people's hearts are different based on how they grow up and all that stuff. But yeah, good stuff.
By the way, we were talking about Avery's house. We'll also be including Avery's address in the description, the bio,
right?
As well as social security number if you'd like it,
right? And date of birth.
Yeah, whatever you want to do with it, like we don't care. We just they're just numbers, really, right?
Just want you guys to know we trust you.
Yeah,
we're boys. Even if you're a girl, we're boys.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's 21st century. I can't.
Yes, we allow everyone to watch this podcast.
Everyone, regardless of gender, race. I've taken too many business classes to know that you can't discriminate. So you know what I mean.
Hey, you know what you should talk about?
What should I talk about?
You should talk about First Spot.
Should I talk about First Spot? So, got a limited amount of time here.
It's cool. It's cool.
So, First Spot, for those of you who do not know, is my brand. So it originally was Third Spot, and then I've been going through some changes.
Two changes, especially.
Right, yeah, from third to first. I just realized, you know, if you're not in first, you're last. So
boom.
I didn't want to be the second loser.
Yeah.
You know, so First Spot. No, but for real though, it's just going to be a clothing brand. Not released yet, but working on it. We'll probably, maybe not for this video, but future videos include links in the description. But just a clothing brand that's made for the people. I think there's a lot of clothing brands out there that get you to buy into their idea and their motives and different things like that. But I want to do something that is for the customers.
Yeah.
It's First Spot stands for like what's in your first spot, like what's most important to you. For me, in order, it's faith, family, and then there's a slew of things that come in that third spot, which is the original brand Third Spot. But
it's the OG. We go way back with that one.
Right, way back. But I've realized that not everybody has faith and family in their first two spots, and I don't want to be, you know, exclusive to those who don't have that. So, you know, I think what's in your first spot, like what's most important to you, and then there's going to be t-shirts, hoodies, maybe some other things, but designs, brands, you know, logos, different things like that. That's
hard candies.
Right, hard candies.
We feel you, older generation.
Right,
we know
right.
you're listening.
Instead of butterscotch, we got you this First Spot candies.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to butterscotch though. Butterscotch is underappreciated.
Very underrated. I have a thing of butterscotch in my fridge, and I put it on
too.
anything that's ice cream related.
Nice.
It also spilled all over everything in my fridge the other week.
Beautiful.
And I keep eating things with butterscotch in them.
Love that.
Butterscotch, I think what we're learning is butterscotch is great, but not on lettuce. It's not ideal. It's not the dressing of the people.
Man. That's funny. So yeah, that's a little bit about my brand. Stay tuned for more updates on that. And as you guys can see, our YouTube name is First Spot Second Blessing. So shout out to Jonah for Second Blessing. I'll let him explain a little bit more about that.
Boom! Second Blessing. So Second Blessing has actually, well, first it was Fourth Blessing, but no, it wasn't. It's always been Second Blessing. Yeah, Second Blessing is this idea that it was this phrase that continually came into my head over and over again. Okay, so the phrase, not exactly. The idea, yes, exactly. And so one day I was just talking to this dude. Okay, quite frankly, what's funny about the conversation is he kept going on and on. And I was, I've been recently, the Lord's been very much so testing my patience and growing my patience and my listening skills. And I had been asking for help in that morning. I said a prayer about it. And then, like, right away, this guy starts talking to me for about an hour. I got maybe legitimately 15 words in the whole conversation, and I didn't know what to do. My friends were waiting for me to take them home. They were standing out in the freezing cold, and I was looking at them trying to, like, eye it up. But essentially this whole time this guy was speaking, and I kept fighting this urge to pay attention to what he was saying. So I kept listening, and man, what I figured out is, like, I had this recollection that what he was doing was he had lived his entire life with these great things happening, but he had never actually shared them. He had never put effort into intentionally telling people about the blessings that had occurred in his life. He'd just move on to the next one, right? And he'd forget about it entirely. Right. It was great for a couple days. But and he was pouring out on me every blessing that had been happening to him recently. And it struck this chord in me, and I was like, why are we so satisfied for one blessing in life? Like, the second blessing occurs in two ways. One, it occurs when you tell someone else. What is it? It's not only did you receive the first blessing, the first joy, the first great thing that happened, but it's now the second part where you feel blessed again because you get to make someone else's day by telling them about the cool thing that happened. And it blesses you again because it's like you get to relive that joy. And it becomes a blessing to someone else too, because you don't know how that could inspire them, how that could actually become their first blessing online to the rest of theirs. Right? So this the idea of second blessing, if you want me to be completely real, I have no idea where it's going. Right now, what it is maybe a website very soon. And the website essentially is open to everybody to come and write down. It's like a open forum blog. You go and you write the blessing that occurred to you that day, get it online, get it out there so that you don't forget it, and next time life gets rough, next time something bad happens, you remember, like, what the Lord did for you in that last stage and how he actually brought you out of it. And then it's for other people who may not be having the best day, may be roughing it, may even be having a good day, but they don't even know that, like, reading what happened to you can, like, inspire so much in them. Right. So what it is right now is it's about to turn into an open blog where, like, I want a community built, and I want people to be able to share the great things happening in their life and not forgetting them, and being able to use those to impact other people. So it may turn into a clothing brand. I've actually been writing a song, like, literally about it. It could even turn into a band of sorts, right? There's all these ideas that are bumping. But right now, that is what it is. And so we're meshing our two. And we just happen to both have companies that have a number in the first area, which is pretty neat.
Super crazy. Yeah. So thank you all for your time and for listening to us today.
Yes.
We are about out on time. Mr. Phillip has to get going here.
I gotta go make the bucks. Gotta go make the green bucks.
Gotta go make El Dinero.
Something's gotta pay for our butterscotch addictions.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Somebody's gotta pay for this super expensive equipment that we're using here for
oh my gosh.
It's insane.
How many mics it's 1, 2, 0 mic. We have zero mics right now.
I've been paying for this mic over the past 2 years. It's almost paid off. For those of you who don't get the reference, we're using my phone.
State of the art.
But yeah, thank you guys again for listening. Stay tuned. We will be posting on probably both of our social medias. We'll probably have links to those in the description. If you guys enjoyed this, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all those fun things. Retweet, yeah.
Reddit. MySpace.
Repost. Instagram. Yeah, MySpace is a big.
I heard it's coming. The kids have been telling me when they slip me some hard candy, they go, "Hey, you should check out this MySpace
butterscotch." Oh man, but yeah. So thank you guys again for listening. We will see you. Probably not actually see you. These will mostly be podcasts unless you guys want videos.
Yeah, tell us.
If you want videos, tell us. Also, if we're too goofy, don't tell us because you know what? That's just the way we are. God made us. I was born that way. So, all right. Hope you guys have a blessed day whenever you're listening to this, and we will talk to you guys next week.
Peace out, Groovies.
What's up, everybody? My name is Avery White,
And I'm Jonah Phillip.
and we're just going for it here.
Yeah.
We just
First time you?
first time.